take control of our minds when it comes to managing money and making decisions.
Well, Jack's here now. You say that, yet actually, our brains haven't changed that much since the Stone Age.
That's right, and back in the Stone Age, we were all about immediate gratification. If you see food, don't put it off, just take it and have it now, which is why we humans are not very good at planning for the future.
So our default mode for our brain is we are built to go for the snap decision.
And it's only through training that you learn the discipline of, enabling yourself to do deferred gratification.
So in the Stone Age, when they had their credit cards. No, but it's incredible how it affects us now when it comes to buying.
And when you're excited, it's even worse.
Totally, because as we'll see later, the parts of the brain that are involved in attaching value to different objects, which helps you decide how to, which object you're going to go for, is very, very much influenced by the degree of stress or excitement or even hunger that you're feeling.
You've got the model down here, so show us which part of the brain we're talking about.
Okie dokie. So, you remember this from last week. So, this is the front of the brain, the back of the brain. We don't need the cerebellum, balance and coordination for this one. Orbitofrontal cortex, very important, but not just yet. Prefrontal, again, very important, but not critical to attaching value to a certain object.
Get rid of these bits. It's primal stuff.
This is exactly right. This is a very, very primal brain area. The brain stem, these things, they control things like heart rate and breathing and everything that keeps you alive. Hence, karate chop to the back of the neck. That's the bit it's aiming for. But the part that attaches value to an object that enables you to figure out which one you like the most is in here, revealed inside. It's called the nucleus accumbens, and I'm going to show you later on exactly how this area helps us figure out which decision is the best one for us.
Okay, good.
All right then. So last week we did a shout out for people who find impulse buys irresistible. Someone got in touch to say she needed help, and that was 20-year-old Cara from Glasgow.
Cara Urban is 20 years old from Coatbridge in Scotland. Cara lives with her partner Paul and her 6-month-old son Jack. She says that ever since she started earning a living at 16, she's had problems with her spending.
Anyone I ever earn gets spent straight away. I'm lured into shops, buy deals, especially supermarkets. I just waste my money as soon as I get it. And now that my son came along, I just can't help but spend my money on him.
And she joins us now. So you are lured in by savings, by bargains, by sales.
Anything with a big red sign outside it, and
So you're like me, a marketing man's dream.
yeah,
Full throttle.
absolutely, yeah.
Do you have credit cards?
No, I don't trust myself.
You can't trust yourself.
No, I know I would end up running up bills, and I don't want to get in that situation.
So you're an impulse buyer. Does that mean that you end up with a lot of stuff that you don't need and don't want?
Nonsense, absolutely. I just waste my money on things that I don't actually need.
How can you save?
I can't, that's the thing. I've got a limited income, it's quite a small income, and I just want help trying to budget it for the month instead of buying things that I don't actually need.
So is it possible then to stop somebody from impulse buying like this?
Certainly it is. I mean, the first tip is step away. When you're in that situation, you're seeing like, oh, what a great saving you can make, or, I don't have to worry about it, I'll put it on my card now. Not in your case, but do you have a debit card?
Yeah.
Well, it's still kind of, you don't have to worry about handing over the hard cash right now. It makes you feel like you're not really spending so much money.
I bet though as well, you think if I walk away I might not get it, it might go.
Definitely, someone else will get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, show us your first demonstration.
Right, so we're going to take you through a few demonstrations to kind of show you how your brain makes decisions. Firstly, we've got 3 objects, and I want you to decide which is the most valuable.
No.
We've got a stuffed owl, a gemstone globe, and a football. So all 3 of you, just try and figure out which one is the best. Which one do you think is the most valuable?
The middle one, I would say.
Yeah? Now what about you guys?
You're saying the middle one? Well, we actually know, so that would be cheating.
Fair enough. Okay, well, now that decision was made purely on the basis of this nucleus accumbens area, the part of the brain that is involved in attaching value to each different option. When you look at this one, not so much activity. You look at this one, it gets excited, and then the third one, you're not so excited either, for probably obvious reasons. But now I'm going to provide you with a little bit of a backstory, a bit more information. So this is going to be prefrontal cortex at the front of your brain, and it's going to maybe change the flavour of your decision. So this one here is in fact, we borrowed it from the Natural History Museum, and legend has it that this actually belonged to Charles Darwin, and he took it with him on the HMS Beagle when he went on an adventure and came back and figured out how evolution works. This one is actually a mass-produced, factory production line article which we got off of the shopping channel, one of the shopping channels. And then this one here, as you can see, cunningly revealed, it's actually a signed football, signed by Pele, the very famous footballer, and it's from the 2002 World Cup where Brazil won. So this is a real collector's item and is expected to fetch a lot of money in a forthcoming auction. So now when you re-evaluate, which one do you think now is the most valuable? The owl?
Yeah.
And then second place, which one do you think?
Football.
The football, and then finally the globe. So what we've done here is completely changed the way your nucleus accumbens has responded to each of those with just a very, very small amount of information. Now this is exactly what shops do. Every moment, every time you walk into a shop, when they've got like those delicious smelling pastries? It's exciting your nucleus accumbens, so you put more emphasis on immediate gratification, feed that hunger now.
Right.
So number one, everyone knows it, don't shop hungry, but as you have a wee bairn, it's actually the case that you should make sure your kids, when they're toddlers, are full too, because otherwise they'll say, gimme, gimme, gimme. If they're full, they won't stress you out so much. Another thing, for instance, is deals where you go, ooh, 500 quid to reduce to 50. You look on the label, you're like, that's a saving of 90% off the price. But you've got to think, was it really 500 quid to begin with, or did they just stuff it in the corner for 28 days, which is the minimum requirement, and then bring it out again?
Yeah.
So you have to question, is it really a good deal? Also, a block of cheese, £2.60, but 2 for a fiver. Do you think, ooh, if I get 2 for a fiver, I save 20p? You think
You
that?
would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
What you should think is, do I really need an extra block of cheese for £2.40?
But the trouble is, you just don't think like that, do you?
No. I
And
just
the
see
football is the most expensive, isn't it?
Absolutely. That one would go for an absolute fortune. This one next, and this one, as I said, is mass-produced. So there's another trick that shops use, which is to give you a free sample. We have a free sample about to come in, but there is no such thing as a free lunch. They're doing it to make you taste it and go, oh, thank you for giving me something free. And in return, we have a tendency to, in the future, want to buy that product.
Do you feel like you might feel obliged to buy it?
That's it. The shops give you freebies because they want to oblige you. Because, human interaction, we feel very, like we have to give it.
Bring that wine in for us, Tim.
It sounds like you have to toughen up a little bit when you go shopping, don't you?
Absolutely right. So, in this one, we have a couple of wines. We've got, should we bring them over? So let's go for this one first. It's a supermarket owned brand. It's mass-produced to the tune of hundreds of thousands of bottles. It's described as a simple wine with raspberry and cherry flavours, and really it's the type of wine that the French, they like to export rather than drink themselves. So what do you think of that? Is that... It's all right?
It's all right.
Nothing special?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is quite an extraordinary wine. It's a seductively styled wine from one of North Rome's most famous and highly rated producers. It's one of France's most famous wines, even back in the 18th and 19th century. Powerful cassis intensity.
Now, what are you looking for here?
So,
That's horrible.
that's horrible.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Is that right? Interesting. So, the thing is, in this case, if you look at how beautifully it's presented, under normal circumstances, not live on television when we run this experiment, people tend to go for the one that looks and sounds most impressive. But you preferred the cheap common or garden plonk.
So would you like to tell us what the trick is?
Well, in actual fact, they are both refilled with exactly the same wine.
Are they? That one tastes a lot worse.
So auto-suggestion, you would have expected someone to have gone for the expensive one. You've gone for the cheaper one, but what you have done is you've spotted a difference which didn't exist.
That's exactly right. You were led to believe that there's a difference. Quite often the price tag on the bottle makes you expect it to be better.
Yeah.
And under normal circumstances, it's been repeated many times.
Subconsciously, Cara's just saving money already, that's it. She's got some cheaper one.
But it's this bit of the brain here, just above the eyeballs, that is involved in expectation of how good it's going to be. And usually, when you drink it and you've heard it's 100 quid's worth of wine, you go, that's delicious. But actually, it's just your expectation which misleads you.
Let's earlier on, Dr. Sarah, we saw there that most people just plump for the one that they can have right away.
That's absolutely right. It's all about instant gratification. And when you're in a sales environment, salesmen will try and get you excited. The big red sign, sales savings, that gets you excited. What you have to do is you have to step back and chill out. If you're stressed, if you're hungry, if you're in a rush, you've got to give yourself time to make the right decision. And when it comes to credit cards, you don't have one now.
But you've got a debit card though.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I'm not sure you should put a debit card in. Like a credit card, when it's money that doesn't belong to you, is going to cost you a lot more in the long run. Put it in ice. Now this sounds ridiculous, but you can literally, it will take time for that to defrost. If you pour a kettle on it, you'll damage the card. It would take hours for that to defrost. And so you have to, that forces you to take the time to get in a different state of mind and then decide, do I really want to buy these things?
I love this. When someone comes round to my house next time, they'll be like, can I have some ice for my drink? And I'll be like, yeah, just don't use the ones with the credit card.
Thank you guys.
And if you're still wondering how on earth you'll manage your money for this year's summer holiday, maybe you should enter our competition. There's £20,000 cash.